Hey, this is Knife Truck. Come along, we're gonna go for a ride. My name is Eugene. I run Knife. Simply put, we're a knife store. We sell knives, we sell coffee gear, we sell sharpening gear, we sell cast iron cookware. Very Japanese focus, of course. You know, your knife should never really be dull. It should always be in tip-top shape. It's born out of the need of having that perfect edge.
People love kind of seeing this thing kind of get going on the road, you know? People just assume we're like one of those, you know, old school guys with a bell in the truck, but it's a bit more involved, and our sharpening is all done by hand, so it's impossible to turn over like just on the side of the road. We have to do it just like we would by hand, and so it does take a little bit of time. Once you kind of get the hang of it, this truck is actually kind of fun to drive. Our big kind of main spots is always Stratford, Collingwood, Picton is huge, like Prince Edward County. We're going to do Kitchener this year, and then we always start in Leslieville. It's been a good little escape from the shop for us, you know, and we get to kind of take our show on the road kind of way.
I always kind of tell the story of being a chef first, I guess. You know, I started cooking when I was maybe 17, 18. I loved restaurants. My uncle, when I was younger, was a chef, and even, you know, I have memories of him holding me in his arms and stirring a pot. I always just loved food. I always gravitated towards the kitchen. So I went to, how did this work here? I was traveling in Asia, and my mother said, get your ass back to Toronto, stop messing around, do something that you love. What do you love to do? And I'm like, well, I don't know, I like cooking. So went to Humber College, went to hospitality management, dropped out instantly, hated it, took another year off, went back into culinary management, where I just found love. It was one of those kind of instant things. It's just the first moment that knife cut an onion, I was hooked, that was it. It was a good solid decade of cooking pre-knife. Halfway through that cooking, however, was knife obsession. It was something triggered, and I honestly don't even remember what it was, but something happened one day that made me just obsessed with cutlery. That was it. It was sharpening, it was holding a knife, it was everything about that perfectly done, perfect cut of whatever that I was hooked, and the rabbit hole continued. I did a bit of traveling, went back to Japan, and when I came back to Toronto in 2009 or so, there was no knife shop. There was just nowhere to get my knives sharpened, nowhere to get stones. I wanted something very specific that was just knives. And we opened in 2009 on Queen Street, like a second floor, tiny little, wasn't even 100 square foot room, literally. And that was 15 years ago, and here we are. So that's a long story. We kind of joke with some of the younger kids now. There's no YouTube. It was just getting a knife, grabbing the kitchen stone and just messing up a whole bunch of blades. It was being obsessed. I guess YouTube started, 15 years ago. And then the odd video, but you would talk to old chefs and they would do it a certain way. You liked it, you didn't like it, but it was just out of necessity. It was just being in the kitchen, your knives were dull, a chef would give you hell for it, so you just sit back there and try to get it as good as you could. It was just trial and error, I think. We're truing a stone. These stones dish a lot, and especially when it's rougher like this. So all we're doing is just flattening it with like a diamond plate. Lots of water. Like they do kind of dish a bit, kind of see how it dips a little bit there. So we're just trying to keep it as flat as possible. So what we're doing when we're sharpening is we're progressively getting finer and finer as we go. We're developing that primary bevel, primary edge line with the rough stone. We kind of call this like breaking the burr. There's so many aspects of it, because there's the hobby side of it for the nerdery, but there's also the need, because if you're a cook, your knives have to be sharp. It's not just buy a brand new knife, use it till it's dull, buy a new one. So to try to maintain it. In Japan, you're in cold water, your hands are freezing and wet and dirty, your fingernails are black at the end of the day. It's not something that most people want to do unless you're truly obsessed with it. I wouldn't call it dying at all, but it's definitely not something that's very glamorous. It's really about the food. I mean, you need the tool, but really who cares? You're not eating the knife, you gotta eat that perfectly cut something. I think the smithing side is huge. The creation of something, I think, appeals to people, whether it's making a knife, whether it's making a cutting board. We deal with a lot of like small artisans. I'm taking it from what I see in Japan. Like, so in my visits there, you know, talking to a lot of the smiths there, we tend to kind of put them on a pedestal that they're these incredible artisans that make this incredible stuff. And we all love it and we'll spend top dollar for this stuff. But I met a lot of people that were just kind of like not that into it. They weren't doing it because it was this giant passion. It was a job, you know, and it was something that you did in a factory. It was like cold. It was like in a forge. It's loud and it's like there's molten steel everywhere. I can't see my kids wanting to get their hands that dirty to forge a piece of metal. So the sharpening side is the kind of boring side, maybe. I think it's the more important side, to be honest with you, because you can forge a beautiful piece of steel, but if it's dull, it's useless. And we've seen some knives just come dull. They come with no edge, and we're just like, where's the edge? And then we'll talk to the maker, and they're like, oh, we don't sharpen the knives. I'm like, how do you sell the knife? Like, that's really weird. I think like anything else, I mean, there's the mass-produced stuff that's easy to get and quick, but making a knife takes a long time and a lot of expertise, and it's not a glamorous thing for people to be hammering steel. So I just think it's slowly kind of fading out. Even in Japan, you're seeing lesser and lesser smiths for sure. Big part of sharpening is that meditative side of things, because it's that pot of coffee on Sunday, it's the bottle of wine, whatever you do, sitting down, head down. My wife reminds me, before knife even, when I was still cooking, that it was just the ritual. The knives were still sharp, but it was just like that meditative side of it. And knowing that on Monday when you unrolled your kit, that perfect cut, it just made life easier. You know, it made your day work better, it made the food look better, taste better even. Herbs is the thing we always kind of use as the example, you know, when you just bludgeon parsley and it's all mulchy and gross, like you have to have that sharp knife. What I try to teach a lot of people in our classes and our demos is the discipline. In a Japanese kitchen, without fail, when everything is clean and washed and scrubbed and done, the knives and the stones come out. You have to keep your knives ready to go. There's a mindset of resting the knife before the next day. You don't just sharpen it and use it right away. I try to teach that a lot, especially the younger generation, because a lot of people are just bludgeoning food in restaurants, and it's pretty sad. I've seen it change. There are a few knife shops in Toronto now, and between us, we're teaching the young cooks that this is how you're supposed to do it. You can't just dabble. Like, if you really want to do it, you really do have to focus, and it kind of overtakes all your free time. Is that not obsessive? I don't want to say like obsess over knives, because that's also just weird. But you need to put a lot of your free time and energy into it, or else it'll just never become something real. I did a lot of this pre-kids, of course, and spent the 12, 15, 18-hour days in kitchens and sharpening knives before having to run to soccer practice or whatnot. I do a lot of my stuff before they even wake up. I grew up with a huge family, and thinking back with my parents, my grandmother pretty much, I wouldn't say raised me, but she was with me after school, and I ate at her house. And my dad is one of six brothers, one sister, and there's always a ton of family around. So there's kind of no worry. It's also a different era when you didn't worry as much. Hey, where's Eugene? He's just, he's somewhere, you know, as long as he's not holding a knife or something. But I probably was, because that's what I did. It's a hard thing to balance, because you want that help and leaving your kid with aunt and uncle, but you kind of don't, because I want to be a part of everything that they do. Hopefully I can teach my kids to like really focus on something and perfect it in that sense. How long that may take, I don't know. I think they say 10,000 hours. to perfect anything, but who knows.